Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do it a little bit slower today than previously. I am sitting here with the fan going and 100 degrees outside, but it's comfortable in here. No air conditioning on or anything like that. It's just comfortable with this so called cooler. And I said, what can I talk to these individuals about this afternoon that would have some weight and some bearing that could help them? And I was trying to think of something, and I said, well, I can't think of anything, but I just thought of two things. First, before I started the conversation on video, I thought of one thing, and that was helping you guys start businesses. Businesses as a debt collector for your own debt. Those of you who've been to jail and they charged you with a statute or a code, go to SAAlimited.com. Download the incarceration contract. Count up your days that you were in there. Do it at $1 million per day. The Trizavan case was 1.6. Some of you are going to want to do it for an outlandish amount. Don't do that. Don't do that. Put in the, now remember, they are not your brothers. So put in the interest amount at 14%. Do not do more than 14%. Anything above 14% is unreasonable. Okay? Do it at 14%. Make the arbitrator whomever you want it to be. That's the first thing you need to understand. You can choose whomever you want to be the arbitrator. And you want to charge 14% interest on all of your debts that you have outstanding. You have a company that owes you money, especially the mortgage company. Just write them and tell them, I'm now assessing a 14% per day interest rate on this false claim of yours. Just that simple. Just that simple. Just 14% per day interest on your false claim. You claim to be the creditor. The law says you are not the creditor. You are an agent for the Federal Reserve. You are not the creditor. You didn't loan a single dime. Now, if you have proof of this, then you show me proof of the origination of the funds and the Fed window deposit. You utilize the Fed discount window. So I need to see that deposit slip where the funds were deposited by the Federal Reserve. Just that simple. You don't have to ask for nothing else. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to argue with no judge. You don't have to argue with nobody. And you're charging 14% per day. Okay, let's do this because some of y'all don't get it. Hold on, we're gonna go to ChatGPT. Now I'm having a conversation with ChatGPT about the Bill of Rights and how Congress has no jurisdiction over your personal liberties. The Bill of Rights was there to protect your individual rights, your private rights, your right to privacy. There is no Privacy Act of Congress. Congress didn't have a right to create a Privacy Act for you as an individual. The Bill of Rights already did that. Shh, don't tell nobody. That's why it took them until 1974 to do it. They had to create one for the public. Now hold on now. We gon' we need, it's a job one. Which one is the job? Where you at, job? Job in the trunk. Job. Robin Harris. It's in the trunk. All right. Hold on. Wait a minute. Not the credit corrections. Lawyer. I don't see the one for jobs. There is one for jobs. Okay, let's go. Nah, we're going to go to the one for jobs. So we got to go this way. They did it differently, y'all. My GPTs. My Adidas. Right here. That was its own era and own time when that stuff came out. Lord have mercy. I loved me. I didn't like Run DMC. I'd be lying if I said I did. Me and Run DMC, that they weren't my group. Okay. I know they were all right. Okay. Walk this way. Couldn't stand it. Didn't think I was gonna say that, did you? Anyway, let me find my. Hey, let it go. It ain't worth holding on to. Borrowing custody, the money creator. You know what? Let's do the money creator. Let me see if I can find that business app that I created. Lawyer, legal, constitutional, sell. I don't see it. Ladies and gentlemen, I created a corporation app, and see, this is the financial instrument generator. That ain't working. Huh, autonomous. I don't see my corporation app, and I'm disappointed in that because it's specifically designed to help people create corporations. So no, I don't see the corporation app, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm actually upset that they removed my app. All right, we're gonna go to the money creator. Wake up. Did you know that under the law, comma, banks don't loan money and they can't lend their own credit? Question mark. New paragraph. Hold on there now, son. There now, son. Comma. I didn't ask you for all of that junk you were about to spit out. Period. Under the law, banks are not supposed to lend credit. And therefore, under the law, the Federal Reserve lends money through the Fed window. Now, since the funds come through the Federal Reserve via the Fed discount window, comma, then the so-called local bank is only an agent for the Federal Reserve, as spelled out in Federal Reserve Operating Circular, numeral 10. Which means that they are not the lender, referring to themselves as the original creditor. And therefore, the claim that they are the creditor is a false claim. What I am getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to call them on their false claim, comma, I am getting ready to tell them that by law, comma, they must provide proof of the origination of the funds because I believe that they created these funds off of their accounting ledgers. Comma, what law gives me the right to ask for this? Now, since I have the right to do this, because they have made a false claim and have caused me damage, both to my name and my credit rating, and have violated the terms of our agreement, comma, I am hereby claiming breach of agreement, comma, and demanding that they provide proof of the discount window receipt, comma, and as a result of their malfeasance and breach of agreement, until they provide me that which I am entitled to, I am charging them per day 14% interest, comma, what law gives me the right to do this? I use the accrual method of accounting because this was banking business and a banking transaction, comma, and I am going to document the 14% so that it generates a refund. Under what provisions of the IRC am I able to accomplish this task? I need you to provide proof that I can do this because I plan on making this my business, comma, all of these corporations that claim they loaned me money, comma, from credit card companies to automobile to student loans to mortgages. 14% interest for each. And taking that 14% interest, doing the accounting via the accrual method of accounting, since these are all business related transactions, comma, and seeking a refund based on the 14% and keeping those amounts that are owed me by these institutions, since they have lied and said that there's an outstanding balance, comma, on my balance sheet, so as to continually generate the 14% per day, comma, prove to me that I can do this, and how other corporations accomplish this. Stop listening. I don't have to wait to see what it's going to tell me. I already know the answer. Why do you think I'm doing the video? I'm not asking the question because I don't know. Now let me tell you what we're going to do. You see how I was going to sit up there and later explain everything? Look how short that conversation is. We're going to go over to Poe. Hey, what up, Poe? It hasn't been showing up today. It's been like on vacation. Uh-oh, sorry. Got to paste it, enter it. Now let's see if it tells me now. You can't do that. Hold on now. Uh-oh, it governs using accrual method, which allows income to be recognized, and this specifies, and look at this, income from interest is specifically included in the definition of gross income by 14% and uniform commercial code, and all of this. Whoa, wait, hold on a minute. Wake up. I need you to answer each one of the questions separately, but definitively in detail as to proving why I get to do every single thing I stated, and proof that these institutions are not creditors as they claim. Stop listening. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me make sure y'all understand. This is what we're getting ready to do for our clients. Ain't nobody else doing nothing like this. They will now because some idiot has done a video talking about this. But prior to that, did you just call yourself an idiot? Shut up! You know why you interfere with my conversation. Let me finish my conversation. You don't worry about who's an idiot and who's not an idiot. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Now let me get back. Shut up, I said. Man, just keep bothering me. All right. Now, as I said, ain't nobody else going to talk to you guys like this about stuff like this because they're too busy keeping it to themselves. Well, these are my programs that I've started, that I'm giving to my organizations. So I choose to give this to you for free. Since I got some, sorry, got to clear my throat. Since there are those out there saying that I'm scamming you, that I'm trying to take advantage of you, that this stuff doesn't work. Why do I have the right to demand proof of original funding? You have the right to demand proof of funds origination under contract law, commercial law, blah, 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 blah. That's why I ain't got to go to the court to get permission to ask for this. Why these institutions not creditors as they claim? Mm-hmm. And why does the bank false claim constitute a breach of the agreement? Fraudulent inducement, implied covenant of good faith. Interesting. Why can't I charge 14% interest on this fact that these idiots are causing me damage? Mm-hmm. And why does the accrual method of accounting allow me to document the 14% interest as income? Uh-huh. And how do corporations use similar principles to enforce claims and generate income? Interesting, ain't it? Oh, I'm not giving this to y'all. I'm just trying to show y'all can do your own research on everything I just did. Yeah, you're gonna have to do some work. You see, cause I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired of niggas. You heard what I just said. I'm tired of niggas going out there and want to badmouth me as if I owe them something. Don't tell me you only get part of the information. You don't get everything. Mother, I ain't got to give you nothing. You better be glad you got a little bit of a. Man, I was about to go there. I am so sorry, y'all. I ain't supposed to be. I've not been that person for over 40 years. I ain't supposed to be coming back at people. I'm supposed to be letting niggas be niggas. If a nigga want to act a nigga, then I let that nigga act a nigga. I don't care about these niggas. I mean, Monica's. I mean, no, they're not Monica's. They're niggas. They're not Monica's. All right, trust me, they're not Monica's. I'm sorry if you don't know what a Monica is. It's my nigga, Monica, my nigga, Monica. Okay, so if you hear people saying that, that's what they mean. They're not calling you a female. Yeah, that's somebody who listens to somebody said and repeats it, and that's what they blah blah blah. Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have the right to demand proof of origination of funds? Look at there. Only reserve banks can issue advances to local banks, and they must pledge collateral. Wake up. See, you keep deflating the whole conversation. You conflate the entire context, and you do so because you think that you are smarter with your stupid nuances. Period. The United States Presidential Proclamation 2039 says that I am a bank when I am engaged in banking business. Full stop. The congressional act known as the National Emergency Economic Banking Relief Act of March 9, 1933 makes it clearly evident that the presidential proclamation was ratified in the amendment of the Trading with the Enemy Act, thus making any time a person engages in banking business a bank, comma, a permanent definition supported in law. Period. Law. Period. Then we have the Check 21st Act, otherwise known as the Clearinghouse Act of 2003, which allows any person in a state engaged in the business of banking, comma, a bank by definition, comma, so stop implying that the term bank refers only to Federal Reserve banks or membered banks of the Federal Reserve or state banks or national banks. It refers to anyone engaged in banking business. Exclamation mark. And since you are too stupid to understand the law, comma, stop adding nuances to my responses. Stop listening. Oh, I'm sorry. All you guys got to do is go back and listen to what I just said. It's going to agree with every point I made because every point I made was a fact. There, during the holiday period, national emergency, blah, 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 the Trading with the Enemy Act. You are lawfully considered a bank when engaged in banking business. Well, getting a loan is banking business. If you create, accept, transfer, or clear instruments such as drafts, blah, 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 blah. Well, I created the promissory note. It's in my name, my nigga. I mean, Monica. So, what if I don't write off this debt? What if I don't charge it off? What if I just, hey, just because y'all committing fraud against me and y'all want to go to court and do all that, I'm just going to do it on my books. I'm going to create wealth. I'm going to generate wealth. Now, some of you are going to be stupid. I talk to people every day who ended up doing things that they shouldn't have because they didn't listen or they chose to, well, get greedy. There's no other way to do it. 14% is reasonable. You go beyond 14%, And now you got some explaining to do, Lucy, and you're going to say, well, I can explain it. No, you can't, because I'm just telling you about it, so you haven't even thought about it yet. So stop being stupid. I had a friend last night. He is a friend. His name is Kenny. He's he was out of New York. He's a New Yorican, Puerto Rican, New Yorkan, and he moved to Florida. He lives in Florida now. Kenny just survived colonitis, one of the most severe strains of it, and almost died, but he survived. Back in shape, doing exercise, doing this mixed martial art, boxing and training. And he was talking to me. He says, you got to stop calling people that. I said, calling people what? He said, idiot. He says, don't you know that people are going to get upset if you call them an idiot? I said, well, no, because when I call somebody an idiot, I'm not demeaning them. I'm not putting them down. I am talking about the fact that they should know better and the fact that they knew better and they did it anyway. You see, that's idiocracy. Now, everybody talks about insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's because somebody created that stupid definition. An idiot is an idiot, okay? But a stupid idiot, now you can get offended at that. Somebody calls you a stupid idiot, now they're being offensive. But somebody just said, man, you're an idiot. Okay, I call myself an idiot all the time. Go back and listen to the old intros to the Legal Redress Commission where I say, you're an idiot, you're a fool. Okay? Why? Because somebody got mad at me because I said people always laugh at fools. And the husband of the young lady got mad at me because he saw in the Bible, if you call somebody a despicable fool, not a fool, but a despicable fool, you have to add an adjective to it. Why? Because just calling somebody a fool could be a gesture, a fool could be a clown, they could be a comedian, a fool could be just somebody who just plays around, which is what I was making a comment respecting. But this person got upset and checked me. And I had to let it go because I hadn't did my research on that particular scripture. But when I did, I let it go. I didn't check him. I didn't go back and correct his understanding because it wasn't my job. So don't think that I say words just to be saying them. All of the words I use, I've been using for years. When I call ChatGPT a moron, ChatGPT is not a person. When I call it an idiot, it's not a person. When I call it an imbecile, it's not a person. So no, I don't mean anything behind it. God, they're descriptive words to describe the conduct, not describing the person. Lord have mercy. And we had that conversation last night, and I explained it to the young man, and he got it. I said, because the people I say it to are people I know. I don't just say this to anybody, because too many people are hurt behind their own emotions and feelings about their own person because they have a low self-worth and self-esteem. It's not my job to build you up. Okay, you want to get pumped up? Go get yourself some Reeboks. Okay, LA Gear, they still in business because Shaq bought into them? Go get yourself some Reeboks and pump yourself up as much as you need. But you're not going to get that here. I'm not here to pump you up. I'm not here to encourage you. That's not what this is about. So, you want to start your own business? Go back through this video and listen to what's being said. And then do your research. Don't ask ChatGPT. Do your own research. That means go read the forms. Go read the information. Read it. Don't listen to somebody talk about it. Look, niggas can say whatever they want to about me, but the one thing I will guarantee, each and every one of you, that I don't do receipts. I show proof. See, receipts is something you already paid for. I ain't paid for nothing. I'm going to show you the proof. You going to pay for it because you going to do the research. Now you'll have your own receipt. So I'm just going to show you the product. Okay, but I'm going to show you proof of the existence of the product. Everybody else is just talking on videos. I've listened to too many videos. Now, I'm not talking about Yusuf. Not talking about Yusuf. He will quote the laws to you and the codes to you and the court cases to you. And I'm not talking about Mr. Jose David, because he does the exact same thing. He will tell you where he's getting it from. Those two, a lot of respect for both of them. Jose doesn't even know that I have respect for him, but I do. I like what he's trying to do, and I like what he's been attempting to do. Okay? Yeah, that's right. I said both of them, but in respect, because I have respect for both of them. I don't have time to be talking about any other YouTubers. I don't watch any other YouTubers. I don't watch Yusuf or Jose, but I've watched some of their stuff, and I respect both of them. Okay? You heard me? I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. I've never met Jose. He does probably let me know who I am, but I'm aware of who he is. And so I respect him. I respect the information, and I respect what he's trying to do. Mr. Yusuf L, I've known of Mr. Yusuf L since 2011, and I've respected him ever since. I've always, and he doesn't even know this, so I'm going to say something that not even he knows. I called myself the junior guru. That's literally the name I gave myself because I said that Yusuf and Jonah Bey were there before me. Sharif, you are private. I ain't putting you in that group because you went private. You don't get to be in the public with everyone else. Sorry, Sharif knows who he is, and I haven't forgotten about you, Mr. Sharif. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you hear people saying, man, you need to go listen to EeoN, it's not because I'm over here trying to produce myself, promote myself, and get money off of you. Please, if only you guys knew why data mass was created. It was created for all of this information that I'm giving now, so that you don't have to do all of that. They will do the forms for you. Well, I call data mass and da da da. No, y'all can cut all that junk out because I done had too many consults with in the last 3 weeks, 4 different people who used data mass and received the credits on their tax documents. So I don't want to hear nothing else. All right? I know better. I know because I have the individuals calling me and telling me without me asking them. I don't know if they had DataMass or not. I told you I don't work for DataMass. I haven't even attended one of DataMass's meetings in about 2 months. I'm just too busy. And this fire thing, it's still not out. Okay? We're 100 degrees today. So I still have to be vigilant because remember, they did the backfires in my neighborhood. So I got to be vigilant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end. We're going to let y'all go. But I would go back and listen to the beginning of this video, and I'd listen to the conversation I'm having with ChatGPT. And remember, I know I'm not going to give you guys the link. You're going to have to go back and read what's on the screen. Okay? And then duplicate what I said. You don't want my answers. Remember, I already knew the answers to each question. That's why I asked them the way I did. I didn't ask a question where I didn't already know the answer. I asked a question where it didn't have any other choice but to give me the answer. Okay? Okay. Gotta go. Hey, y'all take care. I'm out of here. I gotta go to sleep. I'm tired.